right, the gate tonight was $6.5 million. The attendance was 17,343, sold out. We have 3 of the 4 top 5 gates here. We're number 1, number 4, and number 5 all time. Tonight was number 4. Performance of the night went to you, Holland, Kayla, and Merab. They all won 50 grand.
Well, so then first of all, we'll talk about Merab, his great performance. He's starting to look like one of the best bantamweights of all time, if not the best. When you look at a performance like that, what do you think it takes to beat a guy like Merab at this point?
Yeah, I agree. We've been talking about that. We don't know. And Sean O'Malley came in 100% healthy, ready, mentally, physically, in every way you could be ready for this fight. And Merab finished.
Yeah. Do you think it's just a case of now that Merab can just keep racking up these wins, add to his legacy to just cement the fact that he's the best ever, or would you call him the best bantamweight of all time already?
Yeah, listen, he's definitely, he's there. And he will keep racking them up, I'm sure. The Umar rematch is interesting, you know. And it makes your legacy even better when you ran through everybody twice, so we'll see.
That could happen before the Corey Sandhagen fight? Or do you think?
No. Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Obviously, Kayla Harrison won, become the new champion, and I think sometimes people criticize women's MMA, but when her and Amanda faced off, it felt like a really big fight. Do you agree with how big that fight is, and do you think it's as big as it used to be when you originally wanted to make it back in the day?
I do, because I think, you know, now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up, and, you know, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here, so I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass stand. It was all organic. None of that was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So, yes.
Okay. Look, I want to ask you about something else outside of tonight. It's a conversation we've had many times now, the Tom Aspinall, John Jones fight. It's a bit different now, right? Because John's been tweeting a lot about the fact that he's told you his plans, he's ready to vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the belt?
He said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate it.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, I've been busy. I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back. He's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever he's in Thailand. So he's home. We'll be home tonight. And Tuesday, we'll figure this out.
If he doesn't fight, because he also called out Francis Ngannou. He said he'd rather fight Francis, which I assume...
Who did?
John.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that interested in that then. But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can. If he's talking that crazy shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and last one on this. I remember a time when GSP announced he was walking away after the Johnny Hendricks fight, and you said he owes it to the belt and the company to at least defend it against the guy that rightfully should fight for it. Do you think that's kind of the same here with John?
Yeah, but John's been John since he walked in the door here. And yeah, I was younger then. Yeah. Realize shit doesn't go the way you would like it to go all the time.
Dana, what did you make of Patchy Mix's performance? Because it felt like when he came into the UFC, there was a bit more buzz from the diehard fans than the Chandlers and the MVPs. Because Patchy's in his prime, he's 21-1, he was the reigning champion coming over, and then online it just the kind of the narrative was that was not the Patchy Mix we had seen the last several years in there against Mario. So I'm curious, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen before when you come from the smaller shows and get to the UFC. Some people shine and some people have a rough time. It's not easy. So.
And with Merab, is he just like a promoter's dream? Because he is like, he's a character. He does have exciting fights. He said he wants to defend the belt 2 more times this year, which is 4 title fights in 1 year. Is he just a promoter's dream?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and he looks better every time he fights too. He looked really good tonight. Yes, yeah, he's
similar question about Joshua Van. He's 23. He's like 2-0, 3-0 this year. He wants to fight 5-6 times this year. He's already saying he wants to fight in San Antonio at Noche UFC. So the broadcast seems to think he's a budding star at flyweight.
Anybody who talks like that and says, I want to fight as many times this year, it's the greatest thing you can do for yourself. If you're really built that way, when you look at the old-time fighters in boxing, some of those guys used to fight every weekend. So yes, when that is your mentality, I agree with the guys. And if you can win, look at Hamzat when we were in Fight Island. He's like, I want to fight again next weekend. Yeah. I said, okay. Yeah. Love it.
Same for Kevin Holland. He won, and he says he wants the worst welterweight in the division, and says he wants to fight Colby Covington.
It's a fun fight.
Yeah. And then just last one for me, more unrelated to this fight, but Turkey made it seem like you weren't going to be promoting the Terrence Crawford-Canelo fight. Is there anything you can kind of clear up on that?
He made it feel like I wasn't?
Yeah, well, he said that someone else was promoting it. He didn't say no TKO. He just didn't include your name in a tweet, and people kind of freaked out online about where'd Dana go.
I'm going to tell you what's awesome, man. So there's a lot of fucked up things about boxing, but they don't say shit. Nobody talks. It's the most amazing thing. If we sign a deal, I got to fucking get on my phone quick and go, hey, we just fucking, because 90,000 people will be out there talking about it. These guys don't talk. I'm promoting the fight.
Is that fight happening in Vegas still? Because
I'll let you guys know when it's time to let you know.
Dana here. To go back to Merab and his desire to have 4 title defenses this year, that's never happened before. The most was 3, and a few fighters have done that. Would you be willing to accommodate that schedule for him if he wants to do
I never say no to guys that want to fight too much.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah. And just Kayla, obviously Olympic gold medalist, 2-time now UFC champion, 2-time PFL champion. Where would you rate her, I guess, amongst the greatest combat sports athletes overall resume?
Well, she just won tonight. Let's let her defend a couple times, and and obviously she's going to fight the GOAT. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, what she's accomplished as an athlete, period, is awesome.
She was in here talking about how hard the weight cuts on her, and it was really scary Thursday night. I talked to Ali a few days ago. He's like, I'd love to see her fight Amanda first at 45, and then maybe a rematch at 35. Would you ever entertain doing that fight first at 45?
I don't know. Well, we haven't got into that yet. You know, tonight just sort of happened. You don't know who's going to win. Julianna's a little maniac, so who knows how that fight was going to go. But now that we know, and we know that Amanda really does want to fight her, we'll start figuring out all the details.
Yeah. And to go back to the thing on John Jones, did you see the petition online from the fans?
Yeah.
What did you just make of that?
Every human on earth was DMing it to me, and yeah, I saw it.
I know you say you always listen to the fans and give the fans what they want. I'm just curious what you make of that.
How many fans are there worldwide now? What's the number? It's 400 million or something like that. Yeah, 130,000 people want to see him stripped.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not enough.
No, I'm not saying that. It's kind of fucking silly.
Sure. We didn't see you in Montreal. What did you think of Jack Del Madalena's title win over Bilal Muhammad?
Yeah, incredible performance.
Yeah. And you're looking at Islam and Jack for some time this year?
We're working on some stuff, yeah.
And just last thing, do you have any updates on the rights negotiations deal for the U.S.? Are talks happening? When could we hear an announcement?
We're into it. We're deep into it. Yeah. Could happen in June, July, August, or September.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Could you talk to us about Zombie, on your right, Dana?
Yeah.
Talk to us about Zombie Jr., Talk.
Yeah, it's funny, that guy came off looking for a fight, and so did Merab. I'm glad I signed him.
He can strike pretty well. We going to get a good step up in competition from soon, or just going to...
I don't know. He just won tonight. We'll see what happens.
Did you sign the petition?
No, I did not.
Dana, back here. A couple of things. Did you notice the thing just before Merab was walking out? There was a kind of a fence collapse issue or something. Did you see that and kind of what we were?
Yeah, it's our second one in 25 years. Yeah, everybody was hanging over the edge and it collapsed. Everybody was all right. And thank God this time it was a low one, not a high one.
Obviously, this John Jones thing is what a lot of people are talking about. I wonder, is there anything that PFL or Francis could do to make that a realistic option for you guys, or are you fully focused on Aspinall?
Yeah, it's Aspinall's fight. I mean, we've been talking to this kid forever about it, and it's his fight. Listen, you can't make people fight. If John doesn't want to fight, can't make him fight. We can try to make him fight. We can throw things at him that inspire him to want to fight, but we'll figure it out.
Regarding this TKO boxing thing, it did seem kind of interesting because I know that there was the Netflix upfronts, and I believe there were rumors that perhaps something was going to happen there with this Canelo and Crawford event. Turkey was pretty big on making it clear that you would be the head promoter, and then he did say actually you were going to be head promoter, and they didn't have a broadcaster, and then it was actually Sella's going to promote it, and it's going to be DAZN pay-per-view, Ring Magazine, all of that stuff. I guess what exactly happened in the last couple of weeks?
I don't really know. Listen, when we're at work at UFC headquarters, I'm in my own little world, man. I don't pay attention to any of that shit. I know what's going on. I know what we're doing, and I don't really pay attention to that stuff. It doesn't matter to me.
What was the last conversation you had with Turkey like, and how often are you guys in communication?
Shit, I don't even remember the last time I talked to him, but
that can't be good.
we're good. It's very good. No, we're very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Dana, up front to your left. Down here.
Yep.
So when Amanda, was announced as joining your UFC Hall of Fame a couple of months back, and then within an hour she's saying she wants to return to the cage. Did you guys know that going in when you were planning to give her an honor?
Yeah, she had been talking for a long time. I think that if Kayla made it to become a UFC world champion, that she would be interested in fighting her. So, but you never know. We're talking about John Jones now for the last however many months. So she showed up here tonight. She wanted to get up in the octagon. We let her. They faced off, and here we go.
When you're thinking about giving this honor, typically you see it to fighters who've been out of the game for a little while, as Amanda was, right? We now have a situation. She's going to be coming up in a couple weeks. She's going to make a speech and everything, looking back at her career, while also looking forward to a really big fight coming up. It's kind of an interesting situation. Is that something you try to avoid typically when you're giving out this honor?
Never thought about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I spoke with Amanda earlier this week. She was saying kind of her timeline ideally would be returning by the end of the year. Does that line up with something the UFC would like to get done?
Well, like I say all the time, this just ended. We'll get back to the office and figure out what works for everybody. And yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's something that she's been off, and I don't know if she's been training. I don't know what she's been doing.
Do you know she's in the testing pool?
Is she in the pool? No, she's not in the pool either. So,
one question about Sean too. Obviously, 2 back-to-back losses to the same champion, a dominant champion here, puts him in kind of a weird place career-wise because it's almost like that Max Holloway thing, lose twice to Volkanovski in back-to-back succession. What do you kind of see for him going forward?
Well, O'Malley's got to go home, take some time off, spend some time with his family, do all this stuff, and then let us know what he's thinking. I have no idea where his head's at or where his head's going to be in a month. So this is one of those things, you let this kid go home and enjoy his life for a little while and clear his head and figure out what he wants, and then come back and tell us, and we'll figure it out.
In theory, 45 could be an option. Is that something you'd be up for, or just...
Would I be up for what?
Seeing him go to 45.
Oh, I don't know. That's up to him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana, right back here. It was kind of crazy how much interest John showed in the Francis Ngannou fight. Like, there was some tweets going back and forth. What would happen if he came to you and says, like, I'll fight, but I won't fight Aspinall, I would fight Ngannou? Would you even be interested in that or no?
I don't have Ngannou on her contract, and Aspinall's the guy.
Right. If you were put in the position, would you maybe try to get Ngannou back under contract or no?
Probably not.
Yeah. Understood. I'm just curious. But
No, I understand.
last question for you is, I feel like the sport of MMA is starting to see some little bit of a change, right? You don't see champions making 5, 6 plus defenses anymore. A lot of them are kind of like 2, 3 and out, which goes to show that the sport is evolving kind of deal. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we're seeing kind of, shorter reigns, if you will?
Shorter.
Like title reigns.
Oh, yeah, got it. I see what you're saying. Well, Merab might. We'll see what happens with Merab. It depends on the talent. I mean, the guys that did those type of defenses whether it was John Jones, who is considered by many the greatest of all time, Anderson Silva. I mean, you know, I don't know if it's that the sport is definitely evolving, and it's going to continue to evolve, but I don't know.
And last question, in a few weeks you'll take the promotion to Azerbaijan for the very first time. What are you expecting out there? How excited are you to cross off another place to bring the UFC?
Yeah, I love it, and you know, I like going to new places and exposing the live event to people. We had a bunch of people here tonight who had never been to a live event before, and when you talk to people after they see it live, it's different than watching it on television. So anytime I can get that experience to bring people in that have never been, I love it. It's literally my goal over the next however many years till I drop dead. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Hey Dana, over here. Mm-hmm. Is a Pantoja Merab super fight something you're open to in the future?
Never even thought about it till you just said it. I'm open to anything that makes sense and that people want to see.
Also, you recently came out with the energy drink Form. If anyone wants to try it out, what's some flavors you recommend?
The Form? Oh, well, obviously everybody is going to have their own opinions and their own. Mine is orange right now, but Lene loves the grape. I don't know. You got to choose for yourself. I'm orange. She's grape. The Screamin' Freedom is like the old Bomb Pops. And then I've never been like a Blue Raz or any of that shit kind of guy. But that's pretty good too. Thanks.
Dana right here. We haven't seen you since UFC 315, as Mike said. Valentina Shevchenko defended her title again. I know in the past you said you really liked the Zhang Weili super fight. Do you feel like with where those divisions are now, that you've had a month maybe to think about the matchmaking for Valentina, that now is the time to make that fight?
Sure.
So that will definitely be next.
I'm going to get back, and we got matchmaking on Tuesday. And
I tried. Thanks.
We good?
Dana,
Yeah.
Dana right here.
Yeah.
Alex Bahunin tweeted out that as of today, there will be no September pay-per-view. Can you confirm or deny that?
Who? No September pay-per-view. No September. Oh, Noche? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so there's no UFC pay-per-view in September this year.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah. We're going to go. We don't have a date for that one yet, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happened was we were going to be down in Mexico. The arena's not ready for us, so we had to.
Yeah, just screwed up plans. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I've been debating this all week personally, but I wanted to know your thoughts. Is Kayla Amanda bigger than Amanda Cyborg was back then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. The sport's bigger, yeah.
Hey, Dana, congratulations on another successful event.
Thank you.
You now have your hand in the BJJ world with the UFC BJJ kicking off. Obviously, you own the MMA world and get into the boxing world, which you will own.
The slapping world.
Slapping world. My apologies, but your boy, I'm sure you've heard of him, Joe Rogan, on his podcast mentions countless times that he would love for you to get into the kickboxing world. Have you ever thought about getting into the art of 8 limbs?
No, I did. I shouldn't say no. Maybe I did. 20 years ago, we were looking at some stuff. When I was younger, and I was a huge boxing fan, I used to like kickboxing too. I used to watch kickboxing on ESPN, and remember when they used to say the kick of the 80s? It was, kickboxing was the kick of the 80s or some shit like that, but it never really happened. And I don't know. It's just not. I have to feel it and really like it, and it's just not that I don't like kickboxing. It's just I don't want to promote it.
Right.
I like Muay Thai too, but I mean, why would I pick kickboxing over Muay Thai? Why not do Muay Thai, which I think is way more violent? Yeah, I'm not into it.
Dana, other way, over here.
Yep.
Yeah, one more thing on just John. I know you said you can't make him fight Tom, and it's ultimately up to him. I know you've basically been on every wave in this sport. In your heart, do you believe that this is just the process, or is it ultimately you'll get him to fight in your mind?
It's definitely the process with John Jones. been going through this since the day he started here, and it's definitely the process.
Do you believe it
Him and
ultimately
Anderson
will happen,
Silva,
though?
him and Anderson Silva, every time, throughout the history of being in business with those guys, when it comes time to get them fight, it's like dealing with artists. It's interesting.
What's your gut? Like, in your gut right now, does it tell you that fight will end up happening?
What's that?
Like, in your gut, do you think that fight will ultimately end up happening?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since the beginning, and John Jones agreed to do the fight. So John Jones was offered the deal and accepted the deal.
Dana.
Yeah.
Dana here. Heading into the fight, some people had concerns of a lackluster card, essentially of the entire card. However, I wanted to know personally, what did you think of the card tonight? Because it looked like the place was rocking.
Yeah, how did that start? You said people were expecting a lackluster card?
Yeah, people saw the card, and it got a lot of feedback on Twitter and things of that nature. People expected a lackluster card. However, tonight seemed really exciting.
Yeah, that's the goofiest shit of all time when people start talking about fights or cards before they happen. If you want to judge a card, judge it after it happens. And, if you think fights were lackluster or the card didn't live up to expectations. It's like I've been hearing this shit for 25 years. So, but I thought the card was good. It was a fun night. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you look at, there's 4 performance of the night bonuses tonight. That's a good night. Try again.
Sean O'Malley said that he didn't see a trilogy coming again with Chito Vera, but after his result tonight, would you say, is it possible to see this fight coming maybe in the future?
Chito Vera and who?
And Sean O'Malley.
Again, anything is possible.
Because they are one-on-one, right? It could
Yes,
be.
ma'am. Anything is possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Dan, just to clarify there, you said John has agreed to fight with Tom.
To clarify, you said that John agreed to fight Tom, yes?
John agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, on the last answer, you said...
John agreed to fight Tom, yes.
So but he hasn't signed a contract or anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying John is going to fight Tom.
So there were some rumors out there that you guys had offered him his fuck you money and he turned it down.
Unless you hear it come from here or we put out a press release, don't believe any of this bullshit. It's like the Turkey stuff, you know what I mean? And everybody's saying, I know Turkey said some stuff, but unless we come out and say something, it's all bullshit. I just don't get sucked into that stuff anymore. I don't even care. I don't even listen to it. And most of the time, the shit that I hear that happens, I hear from you guys when I come to things like this. Otherwise, I don't care and I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. But yes, John agreed to fight Tom. Fact. Good? Thank you, guys. Good night.